Hi, this is Rebecca Sackett. I have previously done a video on doing the SharePoint list into a calendar into PowerApps. And I've had a lot of people ask about it who've been using it, but they're having trouble thinking through like different design ways to set that data up. So I just wanted to show a couple that I'm working on right now that are just variations of how you can take that data, display it, and make it usable to the user. This one here is whenever we want to request a startup, so it's typically something that's done in the field, sometimes here, but anyway, certain people are the only ones who can do it, so we kind of needed it through a scheduling type thing. So for the calendar style, I have two different ones here. I have one that I did in a monthly view, and this is just going to follow those same notes where this is a gallery, this is a gallery. So anyway, I have everything listed, and then I make it where it shows the little icon if there's anything scheduled, and then you can click and see the details of it if something's scheduled there, and then I can also modify it if I want. So if I say, well, you know, it's only going to actually take half a day, I can change it here, and that's going to change the hours that are on that one from 8 to 12. So and if there's multiples, let's see, I don't know if I have any here. That I've been moving this data around so much, making sure everything worked right. Okay, well, let's move this to the 13th and I'll show you. If there's multiples, it'll list, you know, because this is a gallery. So basically it'll list each of them down so that you can see what all is scheduled that day. And that one I like here. So these are just kind of little pop-up windows that pop up to show you more detail on it. I also did this one here that is weekly. This one is, this is a gallery here, and I did where it's grouping by who it can be scheduled with. So this person may have multiples, this one may have multiples, but that way it's not listing their name over and over in a gallery. And I have where they can kind of flip through each week at a time here. And you can kind of see just kind of a layout, a quick overview of what all that person has scheduled. I must have double dipped on this one here. And that's the other thing, is there's a few things that I'm having to work through rules, you know, what all can cause problems, which is good reason to go through and test. That's at the 13th. Okay, so now I've got that split out. But anyway, so these are two different ways. So I've got weekly view and monthly view. And again, this is just, it's a group by calendar where it's grouping it by that person's name. This right here, I did where I started with Monday's date. So I found, I want to say it was Brian Dang, maybe, that had this somewhere in a forum. It was an old one too, on how to get what's Monday's date of this week. So that way I can always start with the current week. And then all of these are just take that date and add one, take that date and add one, you know, calculating up. So this will allow me to flip through one week at a time. And then these down here are filtering off of this date that's here. So since they're not moving around or anything, it's real easy to just say, hey, look at what this date is, and tell me how many hours I have scheduled for that date. So it's pretty simple. This is just a simple box that I did with a filling, and I set the width off of if hours used for Monday is 4, then I want it 56. If not, if it's 8, then I want it 112. Otherwise, I want it 0. This one is pretty easy for that because I only offered a half day or a whole day, so it's always either going to be 4, 8, or nothing. So if you have a little bit different choices, then you would have to do that a little different. But for this one, that worked out great. Another one I have here is that they wanted just to be able to see a quick overview of which jobs they plan on working on for which dates. So this one I actually did all on one screen. So I have the calendar view, and then I did inside of here is a subgallery. So it's filtering for any of the items that have a scheduled start date of this date, basically the date range. Let me pull it up, make sure I say this right. So filter for it if the start date is less than or equal to today, and if the end date is greater than or equal to today. So mine always has a start date and an end date for this, so I'm able to actually just put it in a range here. And so that's what this gallery is filtering off of, off of the date for that it's in right here. So what I have is if they want to add something new, they can go here and just add in something new. So let's say I want 22F, 1, 2, 3, 4, blah. I'm not messing with that right now. And I want to go from the 3rd, which is before today, but that's beside the point. And he wanted to show that, sorry, I have a cough. He wanted to show the different colors so that he can kind of spot jobs. This part I'm still working on the rules for because I want to be able to make it where it will match anytime that they change it, because the job may be on here more than once. Right now it's just kind of manual, so I added this one in, and then this one's the same color. But I'm probably going to have to do, I don't know, I'm still working on that one. I may do a flow that makes those match. And he can go in and modify it anytime if I wanted to. I can just delete it and say, okay, this one's done. I could change it. I could give it a different color, whatever it may be. And then for the description, since I couldn't really fit it here, the date you know because it's on here, the job number you know because it's what's shown. So the description, what I did is I just made it where it's the tooltip. So if he wants to know what description he has, he just kind of hovers over it and can see what the description on the unit is without having to open up the details. I must not put on that. Yeah. So anyway, so this is just kind of one more way of doing the calendar. So just trying to think through a couple different options on what all you can do with it. And I think that is the only really main ones I have right now. It's going to be these 3. I do have a few that are going to have the little calendar on it. So this one would be if they put in a new request. So whenever they select it here, then it'll allow them to schedule it for the date that they selected. So this is just going to show it over here. This is just really more common way of doing it, which is why I didn't really go over it. It's going to list a gallery here for that date selected, showing what's there, and it'll show the little icon and allow them to actually schedule something then. I don't think I have anything to schedule, so I could show you. I'd have to put in a new one. But anyway, this way is a pretty common way of doing it. I think the video I did before actually was pretty much along this lines. But these were a little bit different variations of ways that you can do this. So anyway, I know I really didn't go a whole lot of detail on how to do all this because it's really not much different than how I've done it before. It's one of the things that really hasn't changed much. But it's really just more of a, you know, here's a few ideas. So maybe you can take it and run with it. All right, well, if you come up with any great ideas on how you can use this stuff, please do post below. I always love to see what other people come up with. Thank you. Bye.